Hello, welcome back to 90s Mags, your podcast for all things Newcastle United, hosted by three lifelong Newcastle United supporting buddies. Myself and AC, we will be joined by Jefferson, hopefully. But you know, we pulled this emergency meeting, shall we say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, boy, AC, how you doing, man? Good?
I'm all right. What day is it today? I don't know what day it is. Tuesday. I thought Tuesday would be another normal day for me with work and all that. And then, of course, for Newcastle, it's never a slow news week. So we had some really surprising news today, which we're going to get into immediately. And there's a lot to be said about it, to be honest, because what's quite interesting about it, there's a lot of talk online. People have opinions, people have views and such. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get into it, man, because I don't know, man. It's
well, for those who don't know, the news broke this afternoon that Paul Mitchell is to leave Newcastle United. He's stepping down from his role as sporting director. He's going to leave in the next month. Yeah, by mutual consent, apparently. So, and I don't know if I put in the group, but Alex Cook from TalkSport, he mentioned yesterday morning that there's going to be a key member from the board leaving soon. Everyone thought it was Darren Eels. Big up Jefferson. You're good. But yeah, this came out of nowhere. Well, it seemed to come out of nowhere, innit? But yeah, he's no more. We no longer have a sporting director, which would assume that Eddie Howe has won the battle, and he will be taking over taking back more control of transfer activity. Big up those who locked in: PDK, Adrian, Mighty Mag, Scants.
Full house already, boy.
Scants is on us, you know. Aaron, emergency stream, not a good start to the summer, lads. Listen. Yeah, relax, right?
He's right, though. He's right.
Yeah, listen. Let's talk about it, because we as a group were big advocates of Paul Mitchell, given his history, his standing in the game. You know, he came with a big reputation, backed up by a substantial CV, and it seemed like a good move for us. You know, after the whole Ashworth saga. We got Mitchell in, and then as soon as he's in, you know, there's controversy with Eddie Howe. So, what are you making of all AC at the moment?
I don't know, man. It's a weird one with me because, like, his tenure at the club has been short, and to be honest, like, not much. He hasn't been given enough time to even be like, what has he done at our club, perhaps as well. I know. We have to go back into like what is the actual description? What's a job description for a sporting director, first of all? And like you said, it's someone who's going to oversee the transfer strategy, but also the academy, youth systems. Basically, we're talking about infrastructure at a club. Now, when this news happened originally last summer, I was really excited by this because I've been wanting this for a long time for our club. Let's talk about not even like since the takeover. I'm talking about even back in the Mike Ashley days. We were like, we need good infrastructure at our club. All these other clubs have been infrastructure for the last 15, 20 years, and we have like nothing. Do you know what I mean? And because with Paul Mitchell's CV as well, it was a really exciting prospect. And I was just like, wow, this shows that we really are serious about our business. And also, it was known that PIF made this move as well, which shows also the intent of what we want to do moving forward as a club, as an organization. Because there's other things to factor in this as well, that PIF as well have been also, there's no secret about this, but they're also in the market of looking at buying another football club. And I know there was talks about, we've been looking at Santos, a football club in Brazil. And the fact is, with Paul Mitchell, with his precious regime, he was at Red Bull, wasn't he? Red Bull Football. He was overseeing the whole infrastructure across there. So it's things like that start getting me excited, thinking that there could be a future, you know, where PIF also have a sister club, which will be Santos in Brazil. And before you know it, we got the youth system, and then Brazil, feeding infrastructure into Newcastle, and the rest could be history quite quickly. And within last summer as well, he was saying about, that the plans and stuff is going to take 5 years to do and such. And I was quite excited by that as a prospect overall, because I thought myself, I know it's a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint in this kind of game. And I feel like when he did arrive last summer, well, he come in the middle of our summer window as well. And as you can expect, the plans of our strategy for the last summer was already in place. Whatever that strategy was, it's up for debate, because we know last summer's strategy overall for Newcastle is a successful one. Pretty much nothing happened. We got Lloyd Kelly on a free. I didn't really count that as a signing personally, because it's just a sign. It was a free signing, but pretty much. And that was it. And apart from that, obviously, we had the panic moment with the June with Anderson and Minter and that. And in the end, we ended up Ruddy. We buy that Greek goalkeeper as well.
Oddy.
Yeah. There's a lot more elements I want to talk about into this, because there's a lot to take on here. But
yeah,
on the top of my head, though, I'm a bit shocked by this overall, and I feel like it says a lot of the tellings of what's going on in our club at the moment, because it comes across about almost like who's got the biggest piece of chicken right now. And I feel because Hal has qualified for Champions League and also won the cup and such, and because we know the rumblings about in the beginning of like them not getting along, and especially that for the last couple of days, apparently he had a meeting with our chairman as well, talking about transfers and that. Now this has happened. It's interesting timing, because what I do see is in a statement from Newcastle, they're saying about mutual consent, and how like Paul Mitchell said something like, "Oh, it feels like the right time for me," and I was like, "That's bullshit, man! Don't bullshit."
Yeah, you're not going to pull the wool of our eyes.
That statement on the Newcastle website, the official statement, comes across like ChatGPT wrote that, right? That is not Paul Mitchell's words. Let's get it straight, right? There's sugarcoating some shit going on, right? Because clearly it comes across like toys for the pram again, arguments and such. We're speculating on that, because we talked about that last summer as well, and it kind of feels like what we were saying last summer about the two not aligning and how Eddie wants control, and Eddie's a bit of a control freak. Here we are now. So,
well, let's think about it, right? So he, like I said, he's come in right on the back of a PIF backing, and he brought also James Bunt in with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as that happens, two things happened, right? So first of all, Eddie starts talking about, oh, I want to stay, but the conditions have to be right. And he keeps talking about boundaries, right? So remember, there's a speculation about, is he going to take the England role? Is he happy here? Because he gave that long interview, which, he went like kind of rogue on it, yeah? Then obviously Paul Mitchell's come in, and he's talked about the transfer strategy is not fit for purpose, right? So he's saying, look, I've come in there, it's a bit of a mess, right? And I'm here to sort it out. So immediately, that's rubbed people up the wrong way. He's brought in his own performance, whatever you call it, coach in Bunts.
Performance analyst, yeah.
Right. And he's talking about he's going to oversee the transfers, right? Now, immediately that gets Eddie's back up. So immediately we know they clash, right? And like I said, Eddie is a control freak. He's had it his own way.
He is a control freak, yeah.
The thing is, Paul Mitchell was talking sense, because we were in, what do you call it? PSR mess, right? We was in a PSR mess because we were very brash with the spending. Amanda and Merdad went full on with the spending, and not realizing what the implications were. So we had to panic, sell two of our young assets, and getting in Oddy and Ruddy, right? And Kelly on the free. So we were in a mess, right? So he called it as it is. Maybe he should have put it. Maybe he didn't need to do the interview. I don't know. But that was strike number one with Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, then we have the fake, peacemaking, like I think with Gordon extended, you got the picture of him and how next to each other, which looked so forced, right? Then they're sitting together at some next event, forced, right? We know they wouldn't get along, right?
Yeah.
So to me, and then there was I think was it Crystal Palace? What game?
Fulham. There was the Fulham game,
right?
Where the cameras were just zooming in, yeah.
And it looked like the three of them, yeah. Eels, Bunt,
the snipers are out, weren't they?
Yeah.
The snipers are out.
They were like, raw. And I remember and this is when there's rumbling amongst the fan base as well about Eddie as well. So
fans were happy.
They were thinking, oh, you know what? Give him enough rope, let him hang himself. Now, what they didn't bank on, right, is Eddie getting the cup win and getting us Champions League football. Yeah, because remember, once he gets the cup win, he's now God, right? And then on top of that, he then gets Champions League football. Whether we crawled over the line or not, he got it with no signings. So immediately, his stature within the club goes from here to here. And what was clever about him? Two things. Yeah, one, he was immediately started talking about getting transfers, being speedy with transfers, blah blah. Basically saying, back me. Yeah, I've done my job, now back me. And then what he did was he had a meeting on full time. He's gonna have a meeting with the chairman, about transfers. Now, what do you think was, we can all speculate, but let's be honest. What do you think he's gone in that thing and said when the chairman's on a high?
He's like, you got my back, yeah. I've done my bit, yeah.
I've done my bit, yeah. I've proved my worth. Now you need to back me. And if he's gone, yeah. So he said, all right. It's me or him. It's me.
What
I'm
shocked about though is PIF have come so correct when it comes to sports. You look at what they've done with the golf. You look what they've done with the boxing. You look what they've done with the Formula One. So they're not stupid. If they didn't know about how football works before, they would have got people shadowing, studying, understanding how it works. And hearing what you're saying, whether it's happened or not, is just amateur operation. It shouldn't even matter if the manager's saying that. Yasir Moran, or I can't even say his name. His Excellency should just be like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Like, it's his club.
Well, this is it. Because remember,
and this is what I think the board have a part to play in this as well, because they went with one way. Because again, Amanda's led the whole thing, isn't it? So they've let her go with it. It's got us into financial troubles where we saw it on the documentary. It was like Eddie was like, I want this player, I want that player, I want that player. We saw it happen with Gordon. That's how we were conducting transfers, like amateurs with his nephew at the helm as well, right? They then brought in their own person.
Right.
So they're indirectly saying, guys, this is the direction we're going in. They've not let it come to fruition enough because, yes, as AC touched on, we've been able to recoup funds in sales. So anyone that's saying he ain't done nothing, trust me, he has, because we've got money now for Willock, apparently, money for Kelly, money for Almiron. And we were rubbish at sales before. And then obviously, I can't remember all the signings, but he signed the Spanish kids. Is it Cordero? He signed the Georgian kid, Pivas, and he signed the Turkish kids, right? So it's all about that infrastructure for the future. So to then pivot and go back to how it was before at such a pivotal time, you've messed things up because you've messed up our momentum. What should have happened is he should have got them in a room and said, listen, you're grown adults. We need to work together. This is for the betterment of the club. Find a way to make it work, please. And if Eddie is then thrown his toys out the pram and said, well, I'm leaving, goodbye.
But the thing is, and listen,
he's not Ancelotti, bruv.
It's different. Play devil's advocate.
I don't care about the League Cup.
No. I know you don't care about League Cup, but
Champions League, bruv.
But you got to think about it. You got to think about it.
I don't care.
No. You got to think about it. What do you think the majority of the fan base would say if we've just qualified for Champions League and then he cuts? Yeah, they will riot, and they find out that he was forced out of the club.
That's
will
not
riot.
Being forced, bruv.
No.
Acting like a child.
No, I get it. I get it. But let's be honest. What do you think that the perception will be? Yeah, not even the fan base. Everybody else will talk about. Hold a minute. How are you sacking this brother? Yeah, when he got you Champions League, when he's got you a cup, the first cup in 70 years, whatever we call it. Yeah, you know that the perception will be we don't know what we're doing. Now, my thing. There's also rumors. Also, I don't know how true this is, but there's also that Mitchell was he was hard to get along with. You know, he was going like a bull in a china shop, and he was rude to people. He was given a big I am in the club, whatever. And a lot of people didn't like that. Now, we don't know if that's true. We don't know if that's true. What my problem is that we haven't given him time to succeed. Yeah, because there's no way. Listen, last time alone should have showed us, right? Eddie Howe was fixated on, because all he talk about. Remember, we didn't back him. We were willing to spend 70 million on Mark Gahey. Yeah,
that's how you know Malik Tiao was a Mitchell suggestion now.
Right. Yeah, that's how. And Eddie was that, and even Eddie talking about we have to get the right player. I'd rather go with no player than so he was fixated on
crazy last summer saying
that
that.
sabotaged
Right.
us. That
Never-
sabotaged us, man.
And knowing how much we needed a player, but he was so like stubborn. And I'm going to use the word stubborn here because there is a bit of stubbornness here. Because, like you said, and like we all know, right?
We're going to get to the comments in a bit, but yeah, go ahead.
It's about the infrastructure of the club. That you have to build. We have to buy players for now and buy players for the future. And I just want to go back a little bit on the fact that people saying that like when Mitchell did that statement about the transfer strategy is not fit for purpose. I'm seeing a lot of people just talking about transfer strategy of like who we bought. Oh, we bought Bruno, we bought this, we bought that. And I'm like, yeah, they're good players we bought. And I'm not discounting that. We did buy some good players. But what makes a successful transfer strategy is also who you sell and when you sell. And I think people are missing this completely. I don't know if people are just like short-minded, but like football is a business where it's a conveyor belt of who comes in and who comes out, and you have to keep that rotation fluid. Now, I can use Exhibit A of Aston Villa, who's a club at the moment who's doing this quite successfully well. They're not scared to push players on. And I think when we talked about ages ago, when we first started doing the podcast and such, we all talked about like not having too much sentiment. Like, you know, it would hurt if like Isak was to go or Bruno was to go or even Tonali and such. But if it was a money flip thing, we had to do something like that, or you have to sell Gordon, then you know it is what it is in that sense. And I think one of the biggest failures of this club since the takeover, and I'm have to say it out loud, is that we have been so crap at selling players. We've been so crap at the squad rebuild. Like Almiron and Kelly being sold in January were our two best sellings of players that we've done in this club. And that's probably only because my guy was at the helm. Now, what I am worried about now is the fact that if we go ahead through this summer without no sporting director, it's just Wild West. I don't know, behind the scenes, shit's just going on.
Nixon's gonna have to pull his finger out again. Nixon, because let's be honest, it was Nixon that was apparently that botted Bruno, Botman. It was Ashraf that with the Tonali, right? It was Howe with obviously Howe came with originally with the Burn, the Trippier, whatever. But he also wanted Gordon, whatever. But the done with Calvert-Lewin, that wasn't anybody but Howe. The links to him weren't anybody Eddie Howe. Let's be honest, that was Eddie Howe. Yeah. There's rumors now that we're agreeing to feature Tyler Dibbling. I don't know how true that is, but if we get him, we know who's doing that is, right? Yeah. It's the same. We have to show some sort of, I say ambition. Yeah, not the same old type of player. But the thing is, where he's got the Champions League qualification and the cup, yeah, it's solidified his status. Yeah, he's won the battle. He won the battle. He sat tight and said, you know what? All right, watch this. Yeah, and now no one can't talk to him in the club. Yeah. He is top done in that club now.
The thing is, I've said on record as well that they definitely need to back Eddie Howe, and I do believe that still. They still got to back him. They still got players in it, but I just feel like I think
let him loose.
It's also, bro, it's the timing of this news. We're 2 weeks away from the summer window starting, and we sack our sporting manager.
The season just finished on Sunday. On Sunday, the season just finished. All this positivity. We're already on 10 because the way we crawled over the line with the defeat against Everton. I've been thinking, okay, it's summer transfer now. You know, let's get the ball rolling. We see other clubs doing business, whatever. Right, we're next. Then we talk about our sporting director, the one who's headed the transfer, to leave it. Well, the thing is now there's no real point in getting one in this summer now because that will disrupt things again, and he's got to clash with whoever comes in anyway.
No one's going to come in, but the thing is as well, there's a pattern here. How couldn't get along with Mitchell? How couldn't get along with Ashworth?
You know
so
what I mean?
I just question myself, like, what's going on here? Because consistency is a thing, a trend, a coincidence. Coincidence is not a coincidence. There is a matter of subject going on here. And I think it goes back to the loop at the very beginning of this show here we're doing tonight is the fact that Eddie Howe just wants full control. But it does concern me because it's a bit like, bro.
This ain't Bournemouth. This is not Bournemouth. We're meant to be a big club. We're meant to be a big club. Where
what other club operates like this, bruv? Tell me.
Exactly.
Tell me. Every club has either a sporting director or a director of football. And if you remember the Simon Jordan interview, Simon Jordan corrected him and said, oh, well, Paul, now you have a new boss. Paul Mitchell's your boss. He said, he's not my boss. He's not my boss. We work together. It's like, What's going on here?
Bro, even Pep don't move like this, and he's got the credentials if he wanted to say, you know what, I'm that guy. But even he don't move like that. Yeah, what's going? Well, let's go to some of these comments anyway. Scancer said, "How is Arteta 2.0?" I've seen that one being floated around as well. You know that he's just like Arteta. You know, Edu left in it because he couldn't get along with Arteta. Now they've got this Berta in.
That is so true. That is so true.
PDK Eddie Howe FC 2 director of Football United nil. It's true. It's true. It is 2-0. It's 2-0 to Eddie. Yeah. And Adrian said, if Mitchell was gonna unearth gems on the continent at good prices, does this mean PIF are confident they can spend without restriction? Time will tell, time will tell, but I don't think so. I don't think they can spend without restriction. The Premier League hates them. Well, you know, the governing body hates them, so they're always going to have one hand tied behind their back. But there's rumors that we had a 250 million war chest this season, so this summer. So we'll see. We'll see. Lomina said, Eddie wants full control like Bournemouth. His targets are English players because he can't integrate foreign players well. It took the fans asking for Tonali to start Howe to bench Longstaff Arteta 2.0. It's true. It's true. There's something in that. Yeah.
He benched Bruno too.
Big up, Tiger.
Up, Tiger.
Yo, lads, can you hear me?
We got a new chat.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. It's an honor.
No worries, man. Good to have you on, man. Good to have you on.
Welcome.
We'll finish off the comments then. Just what's your thoughts on this whole Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell thing?
Sorry, that got cut there. What was the question?
I say, what's your thoughts on the Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell thing?
Well, I found out the news like around 2:30 or 3 o'clock, whatever. And it's just a joke, innit? Like, it was the same like last season all over again. That's what's happening again, you know? For me, you know what? I don't care about director of football. My issue is I want to see results on the pitch and quality players coming through. Like Jefferson, I know like what you were saying today on NUFC TV, like about why it's important to have a director of football. You know, you can, you know, bring the quality players in and bring a structure to the club. But like I said, I don't really care. But it's I don't know. It's a joke what's happening, man. Like I don't know why Howe has a problem with these. Like first Dan Ashworth, which we all praised when he first came in, and then called him a snake once he left. Praised Mitchell when he came in, and now everyone's saying, "Oh, I'm glad he's gone." Like
yeah,
I don't get. You know what the problem is? It's the fan base. It's the fan base is the problem. 90% of it.
They worship Eddie Howe too much. And listen, I get it because of what he's achieved, right? And I get it. With one hand tied behind the back, I get it. But your job is to coach, not to get involved in transfers. Yeah, leave that to people, to professionals. Paul Mitchell's been hired for a reason, and now you've gone to undermine him, which it looks like. And now he's cut. There's no coincidence that two of our direct footballers have left within the space of 12 months.
It's embarrassing.
It's a joke.
Who's going to come in? Who would dare come in under these conditions, knowing that this tyrant's at their home? Like, if you don't get with him, your job's under.
Because he's won a League Cup. Because he's won a League Cup. You'd think he's won a continental trophy. You see, do you see Ange acting up like this? No,
bro.
No,
it's ridiculous.
It's a joke, man.
It just reminds me though of like without our personal lives, all of us, at some point in our lives, you've come across a person, a manager, who might try micromanage you. And this is the vibe I'm getting with this. It's someone who wants to micromanage because he wants to oversee every single detail of it. And I'm now hearing about we might be looking at a technical director next coming in. I'm just like, once again, for me, the biggest thing about this whole thing is the timing. I just cannot believe this. Like you said, Tiger, it feels like Groundhog Day, deja vu of like last summer. Because I tell you what this does now, and this is going to be the massive intent now, and whether you like it or not, fan bases will have to agree or not, I don't care, but this puts us so much pressure now on the summer ahead of what comes through the door, because I tell you what, the next signing will tell us a lot, but also who gets their contract extensions will tell us a lot, because I'm hearing some weird shit about Callum Wilson, about some weird. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Because face it, at the last game of the season, he was crying, literally, waving goodbye and that. It was a farewell thing. and we all understood the assignment there. It wasn't officially said, but we all understood the assignment. You know, his career's come to a close at Newcastle. It's a shame. We're all thankful for that. You know, we love Wilson, yeah. But at the same time, strategically going forward into the next season, he shouldn't be on our bill. And I think if they extend his contract for a year for some ridiculous reason, because like we've heard Eddie Howe say before, he wants to keep the team together, and I say that in quotation quotes, right? What are we doing really? Because
do you think he's harboring feelings about the sale of Lloyd Kelly? Because that was his guy. Remember, he brought him in for free, and
that was a
agreed to pay him.
But he never played him though. Well, Harvey played him. You know what I mean?
Well, true. Maybe because he came in and he really underperformed. But then, remember, before he left, Howard said he didn't want to lose him. So,
but he didn't want to lose Almiron, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry, man.
Who was the list of transfers you made earlier? You predicted who was going to come in if Eddie was in control. Do you remember those names?
Oh, what was it? I said my dreams window would be Kangin Lee and Buemo, that Juan Garcia goalkeeper, Nico Williams and Vlahovic, whatever you pronounce his name. Yeah. But I said the reality is it's gonna be Trafford. Oh, I said Mark Gay as a dream signing as well. It's gonna be Trafford, Nathan Collins, Delap, McAtee, and Elanga.
Can you imagine?
No, but
Premier League proven FC.
But can I say one thing, guys? Yeah, like I've been thinking this for a while now. Yeah, do you know before the takeover, like Mike Ashley years?
Yeah.
Like there was never like this in the fan base. We were all as one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All
and
anti-Mike.
Where was the same energy when Pardew got us Europe? Why was no one saying, "Oh, don't sack this guy. Don't sack this guy. He's got us Europe." But now since this takeover, I don't know what's happened to this fan base. And it's like when you give names like Vlahovic or Leao, they're like, "Nah, I don't want this guy." I'm thinking under Ashley, you would have snapped his fingers, you would have snapped your hands to have a player like that.
Yeah. Now it's Tyler Devlin and Delap and Trafford.
Do you know that Delap here? I don't know what people see in that guy.
Listen,
I don't know what they see in him.
About he's the next Harry Kane. Relax, man.
Please,
come on, man.
You don't always have time for the manager to coach someone and improve them. We need players that are going to come in for the first team.
We're in the Champions
League for fuck's sake.
Exactly, yes.
We're being run like we're a bottom half club. It's like, why don't people see this?
But like AC said,
it's because he's small. That's what he's comfortable with. Do you know what I'm saying?
Manage. But like AC said, the first one or two transfers that come in will tell us everything we need to know. Yeah, if we sign James Trafford when this Garcia was apparently ready to come and join us, then you know what's going on. You really know.
Oh, the same happened with Mamadashvili last summer.
Do you know
He's
what?
Not interested. You know when Ashworth was there, Ashworth tried to get us Andre Santos. Do you remember? He went to Chelsea. He tried to get us Maxim Peroni. He went to City. Alan Varela ended up going to Porto. The only one I think that was a bit of a flop he suggested was Matteo Franca, who went to Palace. And Eddie was like, look, I'm not paying 25 million for this guy. But the one that really upset me was the Federico Redondo one, because it was literally like 7 or 8 million. It was so cheap. But he doesn't want the foreign players. He don't want them.
What gets me about Trafford is that, like all most players, isn't it? You hear we're interested in a player, then you'll see that like, City are interested too. Chelsea interested too. Villa's interested too. Trafford, no one else is interested.
No one.
What does that tell you?
Well,
what does that? Seriously, I am not.
No, the fan base get too excited. Oh, like because he saved a penalty against Sunderland. Oh, yeah, got to sign him up.
That ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
God.
Oh, and the Euros that he had, the under 21 Euros.
But that was like, what, 3 years ago?
Exactly. Come on, man. The man got relegated with Burnley, bro. Yeah. Let's be honest. But let's listen to some of these comments as well. Big up Peter Moyle. He said, I don't know if Mitchell has been irrelevant or he just feels that he is. Whichever, I'm confident his departure will have no effect on our targets. Now, that's interesting because Mitchell apparently still got another month to go. And they did say that apparently the general consensus is that targets have been identified. And they're going to allow Nixon to get the job done. If it's Nixon, given his track record, then fair enough. Yeah. Just don't let Eddie Howe in that boardroom.
The thing is, I'm just putting this out there. Obviously, this is all that speculation because we don't know the details, do we? We're not the fly on the walls in those rooms. But I'm imagining that Mitchell would have had a strategy of like, this is what we do for the summer. And I've just got this feeling that House has come up with his list and be like, this is what I want for the summer. So are we going to go with like Mitchell's strategy here? That's been, because obviously they've got their list done now. They're not going to change it now late, are they? I'd be like scratching names off the list or whatnot. Surely they just got an agreement of who they're going for.
Must be Eddie's list. It must be Eddie's list. Because why would Mitchell leave? If we had Mitchell's list, he wouldn't be leaving. Yeah? It has to be Eddie's
need to mediate. There needs to be someone to come in and mediate and say, can we make a short list? Let's incorporate both. Do you know what I mean? Or say, you know what? For this window, Paul, you can have one signing. Eddie, you can have 3 signings. Or look, Paul, for now, would you mind focusing on the future signings? You know, like, you know, the youth and that. Eddie can steer more towards the first team, and let's see how we can make it work. I just thought it's a bit rash to have egos going on, because that ultimately it's at the detriment of the club. And no other club in the Premier League is running like this, guys. It's embarrassing.
But you know what happened, brother? Like we said before, Eddie has got the cup and he's got Champions League football with no players. Yeah, so he knows.
Sarri got sacked by Chelsea after finishing third.
But this is Newcastle, bro. But that's what I'm saying. He knows. Because I've got those 2 things under my belt, no one can't chat to me. Nobody can chat to me. I can go in. I've got a direct line to the chairman now. I can say what I want, and he's gonna back me. Because why would the chairman not back him after giving, especially on that? Remember, an hour after full time, when everyone's still on the adrenaline's high, you know, he got him at the right time. Yeah, when the man's probably drunk over there, like just celebrating, thinking, you know what? Right, now's the time to chat to him. Right, get rid of my man. Yeah, I've done what I needed to do. I held up my end of the bargain. We don't need him. We don't need him, because this is what I can do with no players. Imagine what I can do with my players. Yeah, that's the pitch that he's sending to him.
Jeez, man.
And think about it as well, he's used bunts, because bunts obviously help the physical health of the players. It's almost like job done. Thank you, guys. Off you go. You know,
so Scans, Eddie's got that cup chest like D-Man and Specs. Listen. My chest was high because of our achievements, but I don't go overboard. I'm very realistic. I'm very grounded. Yeah, don't compare me to Eddie Howe, bro. Please. But big up Waffle.tv's in the building as well. DB NUFC, he said in PIF we trust. And he said, I think Darren Eels had leaving as a major part in playing this. Mitchell was his man. Once he leaves, it will be peak for Mitchell based on what's happened in the past. And you know what? Mitchell did mention Eels leaving in his comments. So yeah, they're closely tied together. We knew Eels was going to be leaving for some time now, but if he goes, then
they had past connections at Spurs, didn't they?
Yeah. They might take their talents to Spurs. You never know. Or Man United.
You know what? It will really, really, really piss me off if I see this guy Paul Mitchell go to another Premier League team and starts cooking. It would really, and it could happen. Why couldn't it happen?
Yeah. Peter Moore just backing up what I said. He said Ashworth will talk to the Manu on the sly. Was Eddie a bad judge? Mitchell is rumored to not be liked by almost anyone at the club. And that's what I've heard.
Yeah, but think about it though. It's one of them ones. You know, people don't. Let's just say if they're cheating. Not that I condone cheating, but normally there's a reason for it. Maybe they don't feel loved. They're not happy. So if Eddie's been winding him up or he's got no authority, why would he want to stay? I'd start talking to move as well.
That's the same.
If you're unhappy in a job, would you stay there?
Because I think Ashworth
will make bare excuses for this guy. It's really colty. It's quite worrying, actually. I've not seen a club like this before in my life. You say anything against Eddie, they jump on you, or you must be wrong. Like, where's this God status come from? Do you know what I mean? Even Mourinho, after coming back, the way he behaved at Chelsea was getting criticised, and he's delivered them numerous league titles. We just need to get with it, guys. I don't agree with Liam. I think this is embarrassing. I think it's a soap opera that is playing out in public because, to my knowledge, there is no team at the top level of football in the Premier League that has this going on where you've got one manager holding on to power.
Yeah, AC, what are you going to quickly say?
I've forgotten, Sorry.
Sorry.
No. I'm actually just like catch up on comments. So there's quite a lot.
Yeah. Can I say just one thing? About like if Howe's in charge of the transfers. It's like the fan base need to realize, yeah, if we like sign like bang average players, right? The likes of Isak, Bruno, Tonali are gonna think, where's the ambition? You know, because they can't just keep carrying our club every season if we got bang average players in every other position. Like, look at Henry when he was at Arsenal. He left because the club had no ambition
Right.
towards the end.
Yeah, and this is why the first, like I said, the first couple of signings will tell us all we need to know. If we see these little man coming in the club, Isak's going to look at that like, bro, what did you promise me, bro? Allow it.
You know what? They probably promised, like, Mitchell probably promised Isak, sign a new contract. We're going to get these players. Now he's gone. Isak could be like, oh, maybe I should go.
I'm telling you, it's not impossible. Let's look
You
at
know
some
what
of
I mean?
these other comments. I know Waffle.tv, no one man should have all that power. Kanye West, listen, and it's true. It's true. And we've got Adjeri. He said, he said Paul Mitchell should stay at the club and Paul Mitchell should be in charge of transfers for Newcastle United. Big up Ray. Che, I'm a Madrid fan, but all I see around Europe since the FFP and all is BS. They need smart sporting directors. Atalanta, Bologna, Brighton, they all grow financially under a smart sporting director. Decision feels like Sir Alex Ferguson days.
We've regressed.
Yeah, and like I said, yeah, how he's moving like Fergie, but he ain't got the reputation, bro.
Well, the difference is Fergie was winning, so
you get me. You're not Fergie, mate.
You're gonna hear that how like through a football shoe at Man in the Head. What they doing?
Well, Fergie definitely wasn't one to say we'll keep the group together. He always changed it every couple of years.
True. Ray said, "Hi, AC. How are you? Newcastle United signed Brian Bremo, Zabra Barney, Jonathan David, Liam Delap, and João Pedro. Interesting list. Don't know if we. I bet none of them signed.
Strikers, yeah.
Maybe Delap. That's about it. But
would love David.
Yeah.
Big up DB and UFC said, who identified Botman, Tonali, and Isak? Need to give Eddie some credit. All those players are worth double now. That was Nixon.
His name is Steve Nixon, my friend.
That was Nixon. Yeah.
This is another thing that annoys me as well. It's like, oh, Eddie House signings. I'm like, he didn't get these players, for God's sake.
But he even said Bruno was sent to him and he had to look at him and thought, yeah, once he saw him, he thought, yeah, let's go get him. But he didn't know nothing about Bruno. Yeah.
Do you remember he kept him on the subs bench for about 4 or 5 games? Bro. And he had to score a back heel against Southampton before he was like, oh, yeah, this guy's decent.
Oh, God. Yeah, Liam said, a lot of assumptions flying here, boys. We are still a club in changes. We're not there yet. Calm. And I get it. Listen, we're not this big, massive club, but we can't keep acting like a little club, like Bournemouth.
How are we going to get there? How are we going to get there?
I do get that, and I understand that. But I guess with me, the frustration lies that I feel like we're still moving at snail pace. Takeover weren't last year, guys. Takeover was not last year. We're to be honest, if you asked me back when the takeover happened, I would have said by 2025, 2026, I'm expecting XXX players not to be in the club. But here we are. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Team Caesar said, Jefferson, you're right. All the fans are acting like a cult. And for me, if the new CEO is chief executive, Vinay Venkatacham, the ex.
Oh, is that the Arsenal guy?
Yeah, Eddie Howe won't get his way because he's proven. Listen, it's the way I see it is that Paul Mitchell was on a hide into nothing. Yeah, because like you said, like we all agreed, Eddie Howe has the status within the club, right? That cannot be undone, and it's only been strengthened now. So whoever comes in is either going to be of his choice or someone who's willing to toe the line. Yeah. So I personally believe there's no point in getting anyone in this summer because you're going to have the same debacle that we had last summer when someone comes in halfway through the summer and they can't affect nothing. Right. So you might as well just let Eddie Howe and Steve Nixon do their jobs. My thing is though, it's about who comes through the door. If we get quality signings
and who leaves,
right? Because
people keep thinking about coming in.
Willock, Longstaff, Wilson, they all have to go. They all have to go.
I can see the Longstaff contract extension happening, and people, I'm just saying, and I think the Wilson thing's going to happen as well. Come back at me when that happens, yeah? Come back at me.
Well, you're usually right, to be fair.
Do you know what was crazy? Someone in the chat the other day said that, oh, Wilson, like the whole Wilson thing came out. Someone said, oh, he might be a good bench player. I'm like, was he a good bench player this season? Like, what's he going to do next season?
A year older and a year slower. Come on, man.
Jesus
Come on.
Christ, man! This is what Eddie Howe's done to this fan base.
Also, if he's here next season, Asula won't get any game time either.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
true.
another thing. And we have even spoken about the youth, how youth just do not get games.
Yeah, Miley's
and that's
been
another
limited.
thing. It's just like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? And I don't know. It goes into a lot of details of other things, because I feel like, you know, we've got some fan base who might be like, Hal's doing what he can with the players and such. I get that. But at the same time, I'm a bit like, bro, there's actually a lot more players that could be utilized. There's a lot more rotation that could have happened, personally.
I kept saying it.
He had
weeks,
Jefferson hanging that
and weeks, and weeks,
system,
and
you
weeks.
have to trust the players at time. Bring them in. That's why I said, it's even before this news broke out, and that's in the last podcast. I'm really intrigued to see how this summer happens with our youth academy. Like, who's going to get senior contracts? Who's going to come through the door? Because we have some exciting prospects. And you guys, people who might not know, don't look at the under 21s too much and that. Have a look, man. There's some exciting prospects. And Mitchell added a few more, like Jefferson earlier. So, like, you know, there's exciting things on the horizon still, but at the same time, it's pointless or worthless if nothing's going to be done with them.
Well, it's time for Eddie to back his chat now, because remember, he's the one that came out and said, "Hey, we've got money to spend." Yeah, PSL is not a problem, and he said about the speed of transfers that needs to happen. So now you've cut out the middleman. It's on you now, my friend. So he has to back his chat, because every transfer that comes in now is on him, and he has to make it work. So if he doesn't, and if they come in and they don't succeed with them, then he's made a rod for his own back. So, you know, we got to trust that that the club know what they're doing. And, you know, give him the keys, because, you know, he's earned it. So let's see what happens from here, innit? Because right about now,
above his head, bro.
And maybe he wants the pressure. Maybe as long as he knows he's getting his own players, you never know. He might surprise with the type of player that comes in and they succeed. We don't, but you know, they're gonna take a month or two before they see first team football. But let's see, innit?
But people aren't thinking that it goes back to what Team Season that said it. It is like the Alex Ferguson times. Every club has moved in line with the new model that obviously started over in Europe. You have a head coach, and then the director of football reports to them. And the idea of having a director of football is they have a strategic approach, to looking at developing the philosophy, dealing with transfers and recruitment, the academy, the infrastructure of the club. So, you know, linking up towards those that are looking at sponsorship. How can we develop the training ground and facilities? Looking at, you know, how can we embark on tours or whatever that is. So we need that overarching strategist. Eddie is not a strategist. He's a coach. Yeah, his job is to coach the team. And actually, he's good, but he's not that good to be acting like this. He was struggling as it is, right? If everyone remembers those first 15 games of the season, and we just scraped it by luck at the end of the season. So it's not like he's been challenging for the league and he's been second or he's won the league. Do you know what I mean? I just think people need to realize that he will have his limits, and doing two roles at the same time ain't ideal. We need a proper strategist in.
PDK, the English Simeone.
This comment made me laugh. The English Simeone. That's so good. That's so good.
Steven said, just get Eddie Howe Persian cat and he can sit in his chair like a Bond villain.
That's true.
Oh, so DBMFC said, I'm seeing a positive in this. With a new CEO, you don't think we can get someone better than Mitchell. But who's the new CEO? When's that going to be appointed? When they're going to be appointed, and they're going to take time to go through their selection of directors to come in, and then they're going to have to fall in line with Eddie. You know what I mean? So he's got. There's no point in doing it this summer, because it's just going to disrupt things.
We move so slow on these things. Like, we're still now waiting for update about what's going on with our new stadium. We're still waiting for updates about what's going on for new sponsorships. Like, I don't know, man, but don't know. I feel like this is just going to be a very, very long summer. But don't get me wrong, it could turn suddenly. We can be headline tomorrow. We sign in Bremo. Is it going to happen though? I don't know.
They're going to have to pull something really good out of the bag to unite the fan base. I'm telling you that for free. Because if it's Trafford that comes through the door or Tyler Dibbling, that ain't going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. Yeah,
there's a lot of neutrals that are pissed. I know for a fact there's people that are normally quiet or that lean on the side of Eddie more that are actually quite pissed about this. So That speaks
And
volumes.
also, at the moment, from terms of like communications with the club, there's going to be no one to even communicate out to us. Usually, it'd be Darren Eels,
Yeah.
whatever his name is. He will come out and do a presentation and be like, blah, blah, blah. But at the moment, there's nobody. So I feel like we're in this really disarray where like communication across the fan base has been shit, to be honest. They're winding up with the fan base. Like last week was about the badge. Week before that was about something. Do you know what I mean? It's like every single week.
Stadium, the
like,
training ground.
you know what I mean? It's another one where it's just like we just wake up today on the Tuesday. We're like normal Tuesday. They're just like, nah, man. Paul Mitchell gone. We're like, what? Do you know what I mean? It's just like I don't know, man. And I don't know what the next news is going to be, but I think they have to now make some actions. Like some people are saying that they're going to sign some player in the next week or two, but I don't know.
Something's got to give. Don't forget, smash the like, people. Peter Moyle said, Jefferson, seriously, because Chelsea Saka manager, we should. Chelsea are the last club we should emulate.
Yeah, but I'm saying historically, everybody remembers that they have Marina. I can't even say her name. Is it Gano Skria, whatever her name is? Right, and she was a top sporting director. She was known as a really tough negotiator and was able to get them tough deals. So I'm talking about during Roman's time. I mentioned Mauricio Sarri. So he came off winning the UEFA Cup final, Europa League, you know, and he ended up going to just Lazio or Juventus, wherever it was.
Yeah. Liam said more assumptions. Back this talk up in 3 months. D-man only sense here. See the signings. Okay, listen, we have to wait till the signings come through the door, especially the first one or two. Like I said, let's judge it on the first one or two.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen.
Contract extension news is going to come before signing.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Longstaff.
Wilson, it's going to get contract extension. I'm telling you now, because I have a theory, right? Call me crazy, but my theory is this. I reckon Mitchell outlined and said not extending this Wilson's contract. That caused a massive rumble. And then now Hal's going to be like, Callum, I want you to stay. I want you to stay.
Can you imagine if that's what forced Mitchell out the door? A Callum Wilson contract extension.
But the thing is, I just seeing it, man. I'm seeing it, and I think the fan base is gonna have to be real and be prepared for it. And it's gonna be interesting when that news drops and see how people react. Because if people are like, "No, I think it's still good. I still think Wilson's good for us, bro."
That's what they're gonna say, though.
No, I think.
Look what happened with Dubravka. Remember when he started crying? He got a contract extension there.
Thank you, Tiger. Thank you, Tiger. No, so I'm not crazy, right? I'm not crazy.
I think the club see what's happening now with how it's dividing the fan base. I think they're going to announce a signing within the next 1 or 2 days, like a big signing. They have to, just to negate everything, just to calm people down a little bit, because they cannot see this. I thought, right, now's the time to announce Callum Wilson extension.
What's a big signing though? Like for you, what would be a big signing?
Embremo.
Okay.
Yeah, someone like that. Yeah, even if the goalkeeper, someone like that.
Yeah, if this was the goalkeeper, I'll be like, right, we're talking business now, and then they can offload the Dubravka, make Pope second keeper and whatnot.
If Eddie doesn't want this goalkeeper or any fans, listen, I'm not an expert. I've not actually watched a lot of La Liga this season. I've watched bits and patches. Yeah, I did watch the Olympics. This guy's won a gold medal, man, and he's in the Liga team of the season. So if you don't want to get this guy, and Barcelona have approached him and said, we want to sign you. And I think because he's Espanol, that's why he doesn't want to play for them. So if Barcelona and Real Madrid are after this guy, what is that telling you? But
to be fair, Barcelona got Chesney goal, bro.
You still want Trafford. Yeah, but ain't they still got Ter Stegen as well, right?
Yeah, he was injured. But they extended Chesney's contract.
You want Trafford. Crazy, man. It's crazy. There's no ambition here.
Big up the D&D Footy Factory in the building. My co-host for the radio show.
Oh, Kante, allow it, man. Come on, man. It's
25 mil as well. 25 mil is the price for release clause.
Big up Big Sam in the building. He said, hold tight the man, them away the lads. Adrian, I'm inclining towards the new CEO bringing in a new director of football. Would be a huge gamble to lean too heavily on Howe. Agreed, man. Agreed. Peter Moore said, I'm not Howe in no matter what. I had serious doubts about him early this season. He seemed lost. Give him credit, he completely turned it around. He did. But does that mean he should have more control over who comes in the building? Like, surely everyone know. Listen, the director of football will know. He's not a mug. He will know the type of player that Eddie Howe can work with. Yeah. So surely he'd be picking suitable targets. Yeah. Just maybe not Eddie's number one choices, but suitable targets that Eddie Howe can work with. But the problem is, if Eddie Howe don't want them, he'd bench them. Yeah. And we just have the same 11 for the next season. You know
and also, there's a risk here factor that if we don't get anybody coming in, let's say, and we just ride this wave to God knows when, there's a risk. Because let's say next season, for whatever reason, I don't know, we do really badly, Howe's job's on the line, he gets sacked, right? All of a sudden, there's like zero infrastructure at the club. What the hell happens then? Because the thing about the sporting director is that if the coach leaves, you bring someone else in and the infrastructure is still there. It's still
a seamless transition. Yeah,
exactly. But with no sporting director at all, because you do realize that if Eddie Howe gets sacked, all his minions will go too. And like, it's literally the whole back room will go, and then you're looking for someone coming, bringing a whole new back. It's a horrible transition.
Well, you think about you're true because you think about it. If Mitchell's gone, Eels is leaving, Bunce will probably go. It's literally Eddie Howe, and the next one up is the chairman.
I reckon Bunce has got a year. I don't think Bunce will leave the summer.
But even then, it's Eddie Howe and then the chairman. There's no in between. So it's like, what are we doing here? Nixon's going to have to play middleman in so many roles. Remember, if Nixon wanted to be the sporting director, he would have taken it a long time ago. Yeah, because of his track record without transfers. There's a reason why he's not taking that role. Yeah, he's happy to be on the outskirts, advising and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now he's in the mud again. He's going to have to be, get his fingers, get his feet dirty, and pull off some transfers.
The play could be that there is a CEO who we will get, and then down the line they'll bring their own sporting director in, and then all happy days again. But something tells me we're never going to see a sporting director again, as long as Eddie Howe's at the club.
Yeah, but to answer Lim's thing as well about still assumptions. What if Mitchell was saying selling Isak and Abramovich has dropped him? All assumptions. Listen, you're right. We are assuming because we're not in the boardroom. But Lim, you have to admit it does seem a bit fishy that the day that we qualified for the Champions League, he has a meeting with the chairman, and then 2 days after that, Mitchell's gone. You put two together. Something was said in that meeting, yeah, and it's triggered Mitchell to leave. Like, it's not adding up. It's not adding up in any other way to me personally.
I think because Ashworth went left as well. I know the Man U thing is there to do that story, but I think because coincidence is not a thing, guys. It's just like something is not right there. There is rumble in the bushes, man.
Imagine if what's his name, Slot was like, yeah, I've won the league now. Allow Richard Hughes. Who was the Spanish guy they tried to get last summer? Zubimendi. Yeah, he couldn't get me Zubimendi. I want full control. I want Richard Hughes out. Well, you don't see that stuff going on at Liverpool, do you?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, why is no one seeing this stuff?
We have to wait until the transfers come through the door. That's the thing, because we don't know who's going to come through the door. We have to wait to judge. When we do see one or two, then we can make a more informed assumption about where we stand in this, isn't it? Because remember, there is stuff people saying that Paul Mitchell was not liked within the club. He wasn't liked in the club, so you can't have a man who everyone hates and then you give him full control of the thing. That can't run. So if that's the case, if he's throwing his weight around like he's some big time Charlie ever, and if
it is true that like no one liked him at the club and he was disliked because my man was just walking around like.
I remember we have to go on an interview,
but Billy Big Dick or something.
Yeah, because he came out with the interview, didn't he?
And just like looking at the
remember the interview. He came out with the interview, and when he did, apparently he didn't have to, and there's quotes from the interview immediately rubbed people up the wrong way. So if he carried that on throughout his tenure, then it's not sustainable, isn't it? Especially when you're going up against someone who's actually backed his talk on the pitch. You know what I mean? It was never going to end if that's the case. And also, like we said, we have to wait and see who comes through the door. Right about now,
we have to wait and see.
But then
But
that's
I don't know,
inbred
How
culture.
confident
That's
are you
inbred
now, though?
culture
How
for me.
confident are you now? How
That's
confident?
Do you know you were saying like he probably wasn't liked, yeah? Have you seen that film Moneyball with Brad Pitt? Like
Good film.
that film's so good, yeah, because he's generally like a director of football of the baseball team, right? And like he was perfect for that team because like he was ruthless. He had no attachment to the players. His focus was just winning, right? And like Paul Mitchell is not there to be anyone's friend. His job is to find the players, advise how I'm gonna get these players, make sure you play them. Like Jefferson's right. Like I think we've lost a great director of football here, you know. And like I don't think we're gonna get anyone better. So
there's no doubt in his qualities. It's the case of did he fit within the club at this time? Because like I said, there's rumors are that, you know, I'm just from the other side. There's rumors that he wasn't liked. You know, the fact, and I don't agree with the fact that he didn't do anything, because like Ace said, he got the money for Miggy and Kelly. And I always said, judge him on this particular summer window.
And he's supposed to be sold for good money in 3 years, by the way.
Right, exactly. So
I just need to say something. People are saying like we're plucking this stuff out of thin air. It's not hard to read between the lines and interpret things. It's very evident, most of which what's gone on. And I guess people weren't here at the start when D-Man talked a lot about the tale of the tape and the interviews that happened and what has led up to this. So this hasn't been plucked out of thin air. You don't need to be a body language expert or whatever they get the police to interpret what people are saying. It's very evident what's gone on. I think there's also a cultural thing, and you get this in it could be in families, it could be in teams at work. This is how we do things here. And Paul Mitchell's come as the outsider to say, well, I get that's how you do things, but this isn't up to standards. I'm in this position. I want to make this change. I want to make that change. I want to make that change. And I'll bring up Chelsea as another example again. Obviously, Andre Villas-Boas was a good example. He came in and he was told by the owner, you can make whatever changes you like. And he felt like obviously it was the wrong decision, but I'm going to drop Lampard. I'm going to drop Drogba. I'm going to drop Terry, whatever. The players revolted and that resulted in him being sacked. So the outsider that comes in, it's that village mentality. They're always going to be seen as the enemy. So again, we can be defensive and say he wasn't a nice guy. We don't really know, but
so
trends will tell you if you're an outsider, it's hard to blend in, no?
Which is true. So what we say, if purely hypothetical now, if in the next 4 to 6 weeks you see Bremo, you see the Spanish keeper, and you see a very good striker, not a Delap, a very good striker, are we going to turn around and say, you know what, hands up, we got it wrong, Eddie knows what he's doing, and in Eddie we trust? Yeah, is that what's going to happen? Or are we still going to say,
well, we still need more, don't we? So
no, but I'm saying if those are the first 3 that come in, what are we going to say then?
I'll be like, yeah, you gotta trust them then for the season. So yeah, I would.
AC?
Yeah, I'll be very happy, but at the same time, I have to take my mind back. I know that's a very like a big if situation, but I can only go off like what I know currently and what happened in the past. Do you guys remember last summer before Paul Mitchell come in? Like he wasn't even like we had the situation of like Ashworth and stuff, and we were left with like no sporting director, and shit started falling off the wheels a little bit because you started seeing that we're being linked with like Dominic Calvin-Lewin and shit, yeah. So, and he started hearing other names, and I was just like, nah. People are short memory, you forget. So I'm being real out here, right? And I think going back, and I think, don't get me wrong, and Bremo is good, right? But at the same time, it's not the only right winger we can buy on this planet as well. I think people are so fixated on this, and I think this is what Mitchell's talking about as well at times, is that, yeah, we could pay 55 mil for him and stuff, but yeah, he's good. He would get you up and running immediately, but you might find someone across the pond for like 25 mil. And, you know, I think that's I like to see that ambition from the club in that sense. And don't get me wrong. And I think, personally, I'm going to be outright and say this now on record, I don't think we're going to get him, Bremo. I think that's a pipe dream, personally.
He looks like he might be going to Man
because
United.
competition from other clubs are going to put up the front of the wages that we can't meet. And that's
Okay.
that's the reality of it. And I just don't think, even though we are an attractive club, we have Champions League football in such a position ourselves in, but I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket that we will get in Bremer. I think we're focusing so much on that I'm almost prepared that we don't,
I
because
hear you. I hear you.
you know,
Let before I go to Liam's comment here, I want to DB asked a question. He said, "Can I ask a question? Does the panel think that Eddie is underachieving?" No, he's not. He's overachieved.
No.
He's
He's
overachieved.
overachieving.
He's overachieved. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to dispute it. He's overachieved, and this is the reason why he's got so much stature in the club now, and he's played it smart. He waited, to the right time till he's got backing now. He's got substance.
Yeah? I won't discredit at all. It's been an amazing season. Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, and I'm not like, guys, I'm not saying that like get rid of Eddie Howe. And this is the thing as well. People in our fan base, and I have to admit, I've never seen a fan base ever like this. It seems to be only Newcastle. That seems to be like,
if you criticize Eddie, you mean
yeah. If you're saying this, it means you want Eddie Howe out. Not at all. I'm talking about bringing a bloody good infrastructure in this club so we can sign some great players so we all can be successful as a club.
All right. So what do you think about Liam's comment? He said, you boys need to fact check. Mitchell didn't spend more than 2 years in any role except Monaco, where he was on gardening leave. Does that sound like a great long-term director of football? Interesting. That's an interesting point.
I don't know. You got Chukwemeni. How much is Chukwemeni sold for? 80 something mil? Didn't he get Southampton a player called Virgil van Dijk, right? Sadio Mane. How about Spurs? Heung-min Son?
But Paul Mitchell was also responsible for football, the infrastructure.
Yeah, Victor Wanyama, some good players, man.
So all the success for Leipzig,
Alderweireld
responsible. I think people understand as well that he's a very good infrastructure person, the way he can set you up and yourself up for life. Look at Red Bull, man. They print money for free, man. So they've got a system that's in play that it will just run. The cogs are running forever now.
And another interesting point by DB NUFC said, how do we know this isn't a PIF decision? Eddie seems to be getting a lot of smoke based on speculation. And again, just to address that one, DB, you're right. It is speculation, but you have to put 2 and 2 together. We've just finished qualifying for the Champions League. He talked about an immediate meeting with the chairman about transfers. He's come out and said what he said, and then 2 days later, Mitchell leaves. So that's what we're kind of basing it on at the moment. Yeah, we may be wrong. We may be way off, but if we are way off, the club is the timing that stinks. It's the timing that's forced us to believe this.
Yeah. I think if this happened in January, then I'll be like, okay, whatever, and it would hurt still. But bro, we're on the eve of a summer transfer window with no sporting director. Does that not scare you a bit?
Yeah,
it does.
It scares me.
Cad said, Mbeumo is not our profile. He's at the maximum value. He's not a young asset gaining value. I think McAtee, young English profile like Gordon, comes in.
Who's that? Did you say McAtee? Yeah,
McAtee. Yeah.
See, this is the problem, man. Fucking McAtee,
man.
Jesus Christ, mate. Honestly, if we get these kind of players, man, I'm just gonna. What's the point of the Champions League next season?
But the thing is, whether it's true or not, like we said, apparently we've got our targets identified. So that would suggest, remember, Mitchell's leaving in a month. So that would suggest that Mitchell has had some input in these targets. So let's see who comes through the door. This is all it falls on, isn't it? This all it falls on.
Is the biggest one for me. I think if we get the Spanish keeper, that's a good sign. If we get Trafford, we know what time it is this summer. We know what time it is.
Sorry, G, I just want to say one thing. Does it not frustrate you, like, the way Liverpool move in the transfer, like getting Frimpong, Kirkhead? They're going to get worse. Like, we should be acting like this. I'm not saying go for these kind of players, but we should be acting like this. Like, go get these quality players from Europe, man. I just don't get it, man. So frustrating.
Yeah, I hear you, but remember, this is Liverpool. This is Richard Hughes. They've not spent no money as well, and they've got a bag of money to spend and stature, so they can go in and start spending this money willy-nilly. But again, we should be making moves. I agree. We should be making moves.
We need to show ambition, D-man. You know, historically, I think me and Win were talking. Yes, he said that Shepherd had a lot of money. He spent a lot of money. But remember, we were battling Man United for Wayne Rooney. We bidded 27.5 million for him. Like, we were right in the thick of it. Like,
yeah, but we've been relegated twice since then, bruv. We've got backwards.
You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you have to be bold. You have to show ambition. Even if we fall flat on our face, there's nothing wrong with making a bid. Doesn't mean it's going to get accepted. But from the outside perspective, we're showing that, hey, we mean business here.
Yeah.
All this sort of like, let's go underneath our level. Let's get players that have been relegated. Let's get bottom 6 players. How are you gonna elevate to a Champions League level if you keep coupon busting? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. We're just always gonna stay here. We've got to keep it pushing. And even for Eddie's sake, I don't know. Maybe Eddie prefers to have players that aren't as good, and then he can develop them. But surely for him, it's less stressful. If you've got better players, they can just go out there and do it.
Yeah.
Which is true.
There's some winners
No,
is
I don't want Eddie out,
feel
Peter.
like-
I don't want Eddie out, Peter. You're clearly not listening to what we've said here. So
But
it's not
can
a
I ask
tribal
you guys
thing.
something?
We're thinking about the club.
Sorry, Jeff. Can I ask you guys something? If he underperforms next season, are you still keeping Howe?
No.
Nah.
Oh.
No.
First
No.
12 games. I've always said it. I've always said he deserves the summer window to be backed because he hasn't had that and he's earned that right. But first 12 games of the season, I think, that will tell us a lot. And we want to see improvements.
I think if we're being realistic, he's going to get the least next season because
he'll get the whole season.
Because of what he's achieved now, he will get the whole season. Remember, first 12 games. Remember, Champions League. We've still got we're going to have 8 games in the Champions League, so it's going to go until December. So the minimum he's going to get
December, January
so,
time.
So I think he's got enough credit in the bank to get the season. Remember, these are going to be his players. Yeah, if he's back, these are going to be his players. So you're going to have to give him at least a season to see how he does. And I think then it's going to be 12 games into the next season. Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, D-Man, if we miss out on Europe, he has to go. We're at that point now where we've built ourselves up so much. It's
If he fails to get Europe,
it's European qualification or nothing.
Yeah.
And
but then that's why you need a season.
Europa League minimum, because now, if you base it on the last 3 seasons, we're an established top 6 club now. Because we've had 4th, 7th, and 5th. So I'm no maths whiz, but I'm sure that's an average of 6.
I think you're right. Yeah,
so
we are.
If it's not hitting that mark, I'm sorry, that's failure.
I totally agree, but that's why I think he's going to get the whole season, unless we're drastically outside of the top 6, like with 10 games to go when we're like 30 points behind.
Unless we get to like December and we've only gained like 10 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's be honest.
For me, if he doesn't get out if he doesn't get to the knockout stage of Champions League, I want him gone.
Huh?
If he doesn't get to the knockout stages of the Champions League, I want him gone.
Are we that club where we can demand and this season we should be getting a knockout stage of the Champions League?
Well, he didn't do it the first time we got in there, so if he doesn't do it again, he's failed twice in a row.
Villa did it. Villa got to the quarters.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Villa got to the quarters, D man.
Yeah, true.
It's a good point. Man. It's a good point.
There needs to be standards at this club now.
Liverpool didn't.
It just was like everybody's going easy, like like them ones when you if you're a boss and you employ your nephew or your cousin, it's just like yeah.
No, but don't get me wrong. But let's be honest. Man City didn't get nowhere in the Champions League.
Yeah, but D-man, they win cups, man.
So do we, bro. We just won a cup.
No, but they've won the Champions League, so it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters, bro. They embarrassed themselves in the Champions League. Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If we embarrass ourselves like we did last time with 1 win in the whole thing, serious questions have to be asked.
DB, call me deluded, but we need to be challenging or comfortably top 4 next season, and that's on Eddie.
Yeah? All right, fair enough. But then if he doesn't, DB, if he gets 6th place, should he be sacked? Come on, man.
No.
It depends on who's available. It depends on who's available. Let's be real. We know that there are better managers out there. You know that, right? We know this, yeah?
Well, unless you're Pep Guardiola, of course there's better managers out there.
Let's just say if Spalletti was available, I don't know. We know this, right? So for me, I love Ernesto Valverde. He'd be great, but we can't go on like Eddie's the second coming of Christ, guys.
No, but we just said if he gets top 6, you're not sacking him, bro. You're not.
I think there could be a question to be had. It depends on the performances of the season.
For me, I'll just say that like he definitely deserves the whole of next season. Like I wouldn't expect anything tragic to happen that they get rid of him mid-season. I don't think it's going to happen. He deserves.
No, he's not. He's going nowhere. Let's be
honest.
But if it risks us losing Isak and Tonali, is that worth it?
After 6 games,
is one man bigger than the club?
Bro, if they looking to leave after 6 games, they need to cut now. They need to cut now.
Listen.
If we had that first 15 games again, he's got to go.
Yeah, but remember, Isak took 9 games to score first goal, bro. Isak took about 9 games to score 2 goals. Yeah, so let's be honest. Like, they're not faultless.
Listen, just like this season, we have to see how the end of the season goes by the end of the season. So this time next year, where are we, kind of thing. But I will say this.
AC, let me ask you. I want to ask you a question, AC. If we have the 15 games of hell again, I'm not saying, obviously, let's just say that happens again. Are you saying to stick with him? If that happens again.
But the thing is, though, because he did turn the boat around, and we didn't crash into the pillar, right?
You guys like getting smashed by 4. We got smashed. Was it 4-0 by City, 4-1 by Bournemouth? Who else did we get? 4-1 by Villa. Because over the years, we made a habit of getting smashed.
The thing is, back in December,
but we just qualified for the Champions League.
Back in December, I have to admit, back in December, I was worried. I was worried, yeah, and I thought like December ain't gonna look good, and I thought we're not gonna make it through this. But he definitely turned the boat around. We didn't hit the side panel of some like building. We were okay. He turned the boat around and he stirred it around, and
we had a better season in all those teams. 9 games in Villa, better season than Man City. Yeah, better season than Fulham, better season than Bournemouth. Bro, we finished into Champions League places and a cup. So yes, don't get me wrong. Those we need to learn from those mistakes.
For me, at the moment, it's just like when we talk about Eddie Howe, it's not about. Well, this is me personally speaking about this. It's like it's not about getting rid of him now, this and that. It's about what we're gonna do in this transfer situation, because there's a little bit of hope because Nixon's there. There's a little bit of hope that he could help with this scenario and we could be okay with this. But I have to admit, guys, like I'm just not, put it this way, I'm not putting too much faith in the summer now. I'm just going to be humble and just be like, let's just see what happens. But when you see that extension contract for Wilson come through the door, bruv, you know where I'm at, right? Just hit me up and just say AC was right. That's all I'm going to say.
Listen, I still have hope. I still have hope, yeah, that everything will be okay this summer, because I don't think, remember, Eddie Howe's usually quite quiet about these things and he's really quite reserved. He's come out with full chest, very confident about what we're about to do. So to me, that says to me, we're going to get players in, we're going to get quality players in, and we're going to be a force to reckon with next season. But I just don't think the timing of this news is not ideal. Yeah, but I have to, because I think Nixon's still there. He's still there. Yeah. So it's not like Eddie's going to go full rogue.
I know. That's what gives me a little bit of hope that like Nixon's there, and you know, hopefully they still got this good list and they do get some good players over the line. It's just the timing of it, man. When I was like, are you kidding me? Are you like?
But guys, do you know, like last season in January when we didn't sign anyone, and then everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a big summer," but nothing happened. The same thing's happening now, man. Like everyone said, we've got hope this summer. Look, we could have a good summer. We could have a good summer.
Yeah, we could.
But the way it's going, it could be like last summer, but even worse, man. Like 10 times worse.
We're already 2 days in, man. We got to let him marinate.
That's what I'm saying. The season hasn't started, and there's already fan base doing my nutting. You know what I mean? Like. God,
we got that thing, by the way.
You can't convince some people, Tiger. Just let it. You just got to let it play out.
You know, like the thing is, yeah, like
they don't want to listen. So,
like, it's become Eddie Howe United. This is what's happened since the takeover. It's not Newcastle United anymore. And like every time I get it the worst from all the fans. Like whenever I criticize Eddie, I get called a Mackham, Arsenal fan, all this. But what they don't realize, I never criticize the club. I criticize the man that's pissing me off. You know what I mean?
Well, we all love the club, bro. It's not like you don't love the club.
And I want the good for my club.
You've got every right.
Fans don't see that, bro. You know, but it is.
You know what? It is what it is. What it is that, listen, if you criticize Eddie, you're Eddie out. If you go against that, then you're Eddie in. There's no neutral in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I consider myself quite neutral in it, but. It is what it is. People are going to have their opinions, but I think, listen, we're going to have to end it soon. But listen,
you're neutral, D-man.
I don't want Eddie out.
No, not like Eddie out, but you're definitely not down the middle, bro.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not.
Let's have it right.
No, not down the middle. Like,
All right, we might as well erase the first 40 episodes.
No. This thing it's pissed me off in it because of the timing and the fact that the man's got more control, which he shouldn't do. Yeah, but at the same time, he might actually pull off things that we never think of. Yeah, he might surprise us with the targets that come through the door. The same way we're criticizing him, if correct targets come through the door, we're gonna have to praise him. We're gonna have to.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
of course.
I praised him this season when he won the cup.
It's just the politicals of the power grabbing. It's not necessary. I still think he could have gone about his business. I doubt Mitchell was completely blocking him to the point he couldn't have a say. You know, I'm sure Eddie's very respected. It's just this whole political stuff and the sour, bitter taste is left at the end of the season. And this is meant to be a time where we're getting excited in the summer. We've got a big Champions League campaign ahead. It's just so unnecessary. But we'll find a way. We do it the hard way, but we always find a way. So,
and I'd rather this happen now than at the end, in the middle of the transfer window or towards the end. Like at least get this nonsense out of the way, and we can focus on, you know.
I just don't want to see Jacob Murphy playing right wing at the Bernabeu. Because if I see that, oh my God, there's going to be hell. I swear to God, man. Because my man's just going to be standing there listening to the anthem with the biggest smile on his face. Honestly, that brother needs to go as well. That brother.
No. We're not having Murphy slander, man. He don't need to go, man.
Nah. I'm so baffled how he got 20.
He's had an amazing season, man. He's had an amazing season.
Nah, I don't care. Shit, did you see him against Chelsea, Everton?
Well,
Cher screamed in his face.
Yeah, man, because he knows his shit.
Yeah, but come on, man. We're not going to get into it, but come on, man. Give Murphy some respect.
Man. He needs to stop smiling. He's just another Miggy, mate.
He's
a good player. He's a strike player, man. I don't know how people rate him.
Murphy, because he was, to be honest, his assist is probably responsible for what we qualify for Champions League right now.
Yeah, no. His assist won us the cup, but he's still shit.
His assist won us the cup. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but as Gianniesta has made a point, there are similarities with Miggy. Miggy had his best ever season, and then we kept him a season too long, and you know. So is that a situation? Because remember, Murphy's 30 now, isn't he? Is he 29 or 30?
Yeah, he can't be a starter next season. We should trade next season.
He could be on the bench, but you know, is it a season? Is it a situation where we keep him one more season? Because we should be blooding through Alfie Harrison. This is what I'm saying. So it's not just about signing a top winger to take his place. Potentially, Murphy could be a squad player, but where's the youth? So we need Alfie Harrison to start coming through in the preseason as well. Because like Gianniesta said, you know what, 15-20 million, the same way we got good money for Willock, based on Murphy's age, that's not a bad bit of money. And it represents as profit, and then you can reinvest. You can get another winger as well.
Yeah.
But was that Grant Quo's playing well in the reserves, isn't he, this season? Like he should get a chance this summer. You know, so he's going to be the next best thing. But
big up Smokey's niche. Said Garcia looks like a must buy. Very good keeper. Yep, we spoke on Garcia as well.
He's going to see.
Well, we'll see in it. We'll see. Steven said a cup and 2 Champions League places under 4 years. Give the man a chance. Listen, Eddie's getting a chance. Don't get me wrong. He's getting a chance. We're just talking about his transfer control that we've spoken about. But listen, we got to leave it there. We've gone on longer than we thought.
If I see that rumor of DCL being linked again,
do you see those 2 sitters he missed against us?
Oh, bro,
I was begging. I for myself, if he scores against us, I'm gonna absolutely lose it, because that's gonna be the side of like DCL scored against us. Maybe we should get him.
Hey, listen, let's leave it there. Listen.
Kante's been a menace today.
I've seen the comments, bro. I've seen it. Yeah,
Kante, you are banned, bro.
It's all right. What's it? Marco Silva's going to be the next season. He confirmed anyway. So that's a
thanks for the 25 million, Kante.
Yeah.
Thanks for the 25 million, bro.
But no, let's leave it there. Big up Tiger for joining. Thank you for coming on, bruv.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You're more than welcome anytime.
Thanks, Tiger.
Big up for those in the comments. I know we rubbed some people up the wrong way, but listen, it's all about opinions, and we thank you for yours as well. So
nothing's personal, guys.
Nothing's personal, man. Nothing's personal.
That's what people realize. It's just like nothing's personal, and also just to say out loud, like a lot of us been supporting this club for how many years? I wasn't supporting this club last week, guys. And we all want the best for this club.
We all want the best, man.
We all want the best for this
We all
club.
want the best, man. Yeah.
We all want the best.
Listen, the opinions just makes it good anyway, man. The
That's
debates.
what I want. I want the best signings, man. I want my club to be up there. I want my club to challenge for it.
Big up Iniesta as well.
Hit a
Big up
certain
Iniesta.
that my
Big
club
up
won the
Iniesta.
league. Yeah?
Big up Iniesta, new subscriber and that. We tune in for future shows and that. But yeah, listen, thank you all. We'll be back soon for end of season wrap up. But yeah, from then, for myself and the rest of the panel, we're out. Peace.
So,
Peace.
people, in a bit.
Peace, guys.